My wife stole our children. My wife and I have been fighting for months. She came home positive for intimate diseases. After finding out, I got myself checked and tested positive for them. At first, I was in denial about the reality that I knew but did not want to admit it to myself. My wife cheated on me. She profusely denied it. We spent weeks arguing. It wasn't the first time I caught her cheating. I had also found pictures on her Google Photos account with pictures of her with her ex while with me. I could tell it was during the time with me because the pictures had timestamps and I had pictures on my phone with the same date wearing the same clothes and hairstyle. She begged me to forgive her and I did. Considering she was pregnant with my firstborn daughter, this wasn't the only problem we were having. After moving to New York, I noticed the stressful life really got to her. She started to take it out on my kids. I was not okay with the way she treated my 3 and 4-year-old. For months I acted as a father to my wife, stopping her from bullying my children. I won't go into too many details. After a lot of convincing, I got her to try couples counseling. She didn't like it and after 2 visits she decided to stop participating in the sessions. My next step was to call ACS. They said although the situation was unfortunate, it wasn't enough for them to get involved. I decided that my only option was to ask her to leave. After 3 weeks of arguing, she left and took my kids without my consent. I was devastated that she took the kids. After repeatedly asking her to let me see the kids, I called the police 24 hours after she left. They told me she went to a shelter. At this point my panic and anxiety are through the roof. The next day my mother told me she spoke with my ex-wife through a video call and could tell they were riding the bus, which I have always been against since I don't consider public transportation in NYC safe. After the virus, I asked my mother what time it was and I put 2 and 2 together. She was taking them to work. She works taking care of sick people. I decided I couldn't stand idly by and do nothing. I got some bad advice from the police and waited for her near her job to try to get my kids back. As you can imagine I got in trouble though. I called the police. When I got there they said I was harassing her. This will come to bite me in the ass later. This happened about 2 weeks ago. She came with the police the next day to get her things and the police told me that since she took them to a shelter, they had to stay with her while we fought for custody. In the last 2 weeks, I've been going to see my kids at school. It's been hard for my 3-year-old. He gets hysterical when I leave. My 4-year-old has taken it a little better, but not well either. She has been sending them to school with non-fitting clothing, soiled clothing, ripped clothing, and clothing not appropriate for cold weather. The director also told me she has noticed a huge difference between my interactions with the kids and how they interact with her. My kids get excited when they see me. Also, when she drops them off, it's like she's dropping off a package. She doesn't even say bye to them. 3 days ago, I found out through a mutual friend that she lost my kids' documents, passports, social security cards, birth certificates, consular report of birth abroad, everything. 2 days ago, on Thursday, I decided it was in the best interest of my kids to take them out for the day and bring them back to the daycare in time for their mother to pick them up, took them home, bathed them, switched out my 3-year-old non-fitting clothing, and I took them to McDonald's and then to the park. After an awesome day, I took them back to the daycare, and their mother and I arrived at the same time. The kids were crying that they didn't want to go back with their mother, but there was no choice. As I left, I looked back and saw that the administration at the daycare was receiving paperwork from her and she started making copies. I knew this could not be good. I went back 20 minutes later and asked them about it and they showed me what it was. It was a complete stay-away order from her and my kids.